Hello there, the story ninjas in the house and listening ninjas. Let's say hello to Thoko again. We do remember that Thoko, our little girl here, is kind and friendly, very curious. Let's find out what she's up to next. And remember, Thoko has been written and illustrated by Niki Daly. And our story today is called Thoko's First Library Book. I know that libraries aren't open like they were open before, but we are still allowed to get our books. And I have a very special librarian who helps me choose the most exciting stories just for you. Well, Thoko walked into the library with Gogo. She liked the smell of the new building. She liked the shelves of books and shiny tables. And today she hoped to find something special. A book to read. A storybook with pictures. Now that's some of my favorites too. Anyway, she held Gogo's hand, and as they walked into the room where all the children's books were kept, a lady at her desk looked up and smiled. She wore a little badge on it, and it was written librarian. So in our library, we have an Auntie Aziza, an Auntie Ruwaida, and an Auntie Ruqayya, and an Uncle Ashraf, and there are some others too. Well, Thoko would like to borrow a book from the library, said Gogo to the librarian. Let's see. Oh, lovely, said the librarian. Your library may look like this, or it could look a little bit different too, but definitely with lots of books. And as I said, just right now we can't get inside, but we still have access to the books. The librarian gave Gogo a form to fill out. Remember, this is Thoko's first visit to the library, and Thoko walked around the room slowly. Some books were on shelves too high for her to reach. Some she could reach, but had too many words and not enough pictures. And Gogo sat down on a little yellow chair at the little green table and started to fill in the form. Well, let's have a look. Some books too high up. Some books just the right height. Thoko whispered to Gogo, I like it here. Well, Gogo suggests she goes to find a nice book to take home. The librarian offers to take Thoko to see the books. Well, let me show you where the picture books are, Thoko, said the nice librarian, whose name was Nadia. Thoko followed Nadia to shelves that were just the right height for her. And take your time, said Nadia. I'm sure you'll find just the right book. And by the time Gogo handed in the form, Thoko had found just the right book. I wonder which book she found. Let's hear. Thoko's book was about a terrible monster with horns and tusks. This looks very scary. Let's see if there's one that won't give you a nightmare, said Gogo. I think it was Gogo more afraid than Thoko. This looks like a lovely book, said Gogo, showing Thoko a book that had a fairy on it, in a pink ballet dress. But Thoko knew what she liked, and she knew what she wanted, so she held on to her book very, very tightly. A little girl who knows her mind. Ah, everyone likes this book, said Nadia, and Thoko looked carefully as her book was stamped with the date that she would have to return it on. Aha! Some of you who have been in the library will know that that really does happen. And then what happens next? They swish it over a something that scans the book out, so it doesn't make the alarms go off at the door. Well, Nadia handed the book to Thoko. There you go, and that's your first library book, and your very first library card. Thoko was happy. Carry it nicely, said Gogo, and they left. That book, what a story! What pictures! Even Gogo said it was the best children's book she had ever read. Can you imagine? Even Gogo loved the story. So the following Friday, Thoko took the library book to Mrs. Rhoda, a school teacher, to read and show the pictures. The children laughed. Oh, and they loved the story, especially Temba, who wanted to read the book again and again. But Mrs. Rhoda closed it and gave it to Thoko to put safely back into a school bag. So some of you often get to sit at story time, just like this. Sometimes it happens at the end of the day at school, probably the favorite time of day. That evening at bedtime, Gogo said, Thoko, tomorrow we must take your book back to the library. So tonight we must read that funny story. Thoko opened the bag, but the library book was not there. Oh no! Oh, Thoko, said Gogo, you must have left it at school. No, said Thoko, I put it in my bag when Mrs. Rhoda gave it back to me. And Thoko wanted to cry. What would the librarian say? Who would have taken it out of your bag? Asked Gogo. Now Thoko thought, and she thought, Temba Nombela, cried Thoko. He loved the story so much he wanted to be read again and again and again. Oh my gosh! Does Temba steal? Asked Gogo. Well, sometimes Temba takes things without asking, said Thoko, but he does always bring them back. Well, the next morning, Gogo and Thoko went to the Nombela's house to see if Temba had the library book. Yes, said Temba, I meant to bring it back, but Zinzi Dube borrowed the book. So Temba showed Gogo and Thoko where the Dubes lived. Oh my gosh! Poor Gogo and Thoko are walking around town looking for this library book. We always have to be especially careful to look after library books. Tata has it, said Zinzi, and he can't read, but he wanted to look at the pictures. So who is Tata? Let's find out. So off went Zinzi, Temba, Thoko, and Gogo to Tata's house, where they found him sitting outside his front door, laughing his head off. Zinzi, this book is too funny. I'm enjoying it so much, said the old man. Gogo explained that the book belonged to the library, and they only had a few more minutes to get it back on time. Let's see, Tata is sitting and enjoying reading. And as we know, stories are for all. Thoko had never seen Gogo walk so fast, but when they reached the library, the door was closed. Gogo read the notice and said, It will only open on Monday again. Oh, goodness. But Gogo, the librarian will be very cross if the books aren't in, said Thoko. Well, don't worry about that, said Gogo. I will explain what happened. I'm sure she will understand what can happen when a book is as nice as this one. Everyone wants to read it, and until Monday we can enjoy it a little bit more. So when Monday afternoon came, Gogo and Thoko took the book back to the library. Nadia noticed that it was late, but when Gogo explained why, Nadia smiled and said, That's a wonderful story, Thoko. Next time, bring your friends along with you to join the library. And bring Tata too. We teach people to read on Friday mornings. And that's exactly what happened. Tabo, Zinzi, and lots of Thoko school friends have now joined the library. Even Zinzi, Zinzi's old grandfather, Tata, has joined. He likes the new words he learns let's see, he's learning to read. So Tata goes to the library every Friday morning. Wow! But the books he likes most of all are the ones with pictures which make him laugh. So it doesn't matter how old we are or who we are. Stories are for all. Stories with pictures and words, or stories with just lots and lots of words. So if you haven't got a library card yet, make a point. Ask someone at home to take you to the library, and you may find a librarian just as lovely and friendly as Nadia. So until next time, happy reading and goodbye for now.